Hey guys, good morning. Let me jump in here and give you a little BITO and YBIT. All right, so interesting. YBIT continues to collect a lot of money. Again, they're selling these way out of the money strike prices. It's putting cash in there with a liability, but while Bitcoin and BTC, thus BITO, are just staying flat, it's staying relatively flat, but it really is collecting a lot of cash. So making these payments is no problem. Long as it doesn't go down from here and Bitcoin recovers, this thing will do really, really well. It's just a situation where technically it's earning the money, but it has a liability, but it's rolling out of that. And then it sort of forces it to continue with these further out of the money writing because it's the only way that it gets a great cash flow. So let me show you the trades that it put on today. Get these up here. So these three here, anytime you see three and they're all the same quantity, it's a traditional. Two of them are the synthetic. You buy the call, you sell short the put. That is the synthetic, continued at the 35. Now remember, that's on BITO, and BITO's trading at 2009. It was flat. And then you sell short, same amount of quantity, and you sort of pick your expiration. These are what's known as the weeklies, right? So they're now writing 719. They did that yesterday, and they did it again on the 11th. But that's putting money in the bank. So is this. This is massively because they buy a call for a penny because it's, $15 out of the money, and then they sell a put. So they have till August 2nd. So if we start to run on Bitcoin, it has some chance. Otherwise, they're forced to do the same kind of thing, sell way out of the money, right? But so far, it's working in the sense that if you're bullish, they're collecting money. So I like to explain this. Some of you really get it that you've been watching me and stuff, but for newbies, so, fund managers can deploy different techniques and you get a fair amount of premium in these higher IV, these Bitcoin oriented funds. So what you have here, you can see that then we have 5 calls in place, right? These are the same strike price. Whoops, this is actually a 21. But since they're written for different amounts of money, we really have to track them. But on my summary sheets over in holdings, I'll just show this as 2135 contracts on a 21 strike with a 719 expiration, just so you understand. And look at this, all these 20.5s all are the same. They're all going to get added together, but the reality is, two of them were both sold at 27 and one of them at 19, but look at the bulk, right? That's almost over 20,000, right? And only 2,300 were written at 19. So altogether, that's some good cash flow. And we should be winning those again because we're hanging around 20.09. So let me summarize what happened. So we were at 1565 in YBIT, 1555, and we moved up 0.45 to 1562. BITO itself was dead flat, right? 2009, 2009. So we're looking pretty good considering all of our expiration. I mean, if Bitcoin were to really lurch up, yeah, we could run past it. Um, but I'm not seeing any impetus right now for that. We have the PPI. The CPI didn't really do a lot. It caused gold to run. I could see that gold was going to, be elevated before I even knew what the CPI was. And sometimes Bitcoin and gold trade together, right? And the markets trade separately. But in this case, gold made a great move. Bitcoin did not. Bitcoin, if anything, went down a couple hundred points. But at 57,000, a couple hundred's not a lot. Okay, let's go look at this at the synthetic level. and you see what we've been doing. Now, one of the things I didn't show you, and I'll go back to that page, more shares, right? Another 125,000 shares. So people are buying YBIT because they believe in the underlying. They're not really chasing yield because the NAV loss has been big, right? It's a 1555 where it launched at 20. So you're losing money on the NAV if you bought it at 20, but you're getting paid $1 every month or more, right? Especially on a low price thing. And that's why there's nothing wrong with chasing yield if you're super bullish on the underlying. I haven't added any more down here. I certainly could, but I'm adding to other funds that I'm more bullish on, right? I mean, don't get me wrong, I own Coney, I own a lot more Misty than I do Coney, but I still own some Coney, and it's been kind of, I shouldn't say the worst, it's about doing what YBIT is doing, only it got really behind on one of its synthetic and had to take a big loss early in the month, whereas Misty's not in that situation. So anyway, guys, to sum it up, let's just jump into the final pieces you need to know. So this 125,000, I didn't update the cash. Again, it's not really relevant. It gave you cash to buy more, right? 3075 to 3200. So 125,000 shares, 4% were added. We closed at 1562. Fair value, interestingly, is 10 cents less, right? Here's the new shares. Here's the new assets. Now, let's take a look at this synthetic. Okay, it's a little worse, right? 37 versus 35 versus 32 versus 33, because we're not really going anywhere, right? And we have to log a second, whereas some of the funds have 719. Some of the funds have already rolled out to 816. So well, let's take a look at that. What else I have? Oh, on the weeklies. So again, these weeklies, and then I'll flip back to the holding. So here's our summary. We're now 2% out of the money, right? 2050 closed at 2009, basically with one trading day. So we are right down here near the major support right at the bottom of our channel, and our bull flag channel still. If we break down and confirm, then I'm not really bullish on this at that point, near term. Uh, but so far it hasn't. So that's a lot that we stand to gain, right, in terms of the money. So let's do one more holdings look, and then we'll jump over to payouts. All right, so here's our next week, right? 719 color coded, 2000. We've actually collected, whoops, no, we haven't. Oh, you know what I didn't do on this one? I didn't add in the second tranche of cash in this one. So I want to say equals plus, it's easier just to go to it. There, hopefully that added it. Yeah, that took care of it. Okay, so now you see where we are. We've collected 18%. I was wondering why. I knew what the close amount. So look at this guy, though. We're almost 64% captured, right? It's still showing 0.095, but look, that's all time decay. We're at 20.09, so it can go up to 20.5, and we'll buy it back for a penny or two. So, I feel pretty optimistic. Now, what does the money look like? Bruce, show us the money. Where's the money? I will. Thank you. All right. So here we are. Look at this. Yesterday, this was $1 or something, right? So what happens? These things keep on going up. Not well. We're actually haven't crossed. We haven't made this negative, which is real money, right? This one we're doing very, very well. Thank you. $2.79. But in comparison, this was really by far the best month. But because our stock price was lower, they continued the same kind of yield. These are all yielding around the same. But when you get down here in this 15 territory, right, let's put this Let me make this the current one and see what it looks like for you guys. So if I go out to July and pick the current price, we'll take a look at what kind of payout. Again, it's way too early to give you that, right? But if we were to get to $1.19, that would be 15.62. So they're lying. My sense is they're giving us the benefit of the doubt. They're paying us money because we put it in the piggy bank, but we still got a liability of 37 million out there. Okay, this is going to keep changing as we go. So assuming Bitcoin doesn't wake up and roar before next dividend on 8/6, then I think you're in a situation where, and again, this could go up or down depending on what happens, but let's go out and say $1.06. Okay, that I just happened to pick that one, and it's right in that 81%, which I know this one was 81. I really don't remember what the percentage was on this one, but my sense is somewhere in that range because this has gone down from, mid to high 19s to mid 17s to, mid 15s. So my guess is it'll be about $1.06. Well, that's tremendous on a dollar stock. Certainly they have almost the money to pay it right out of what they've collected, right? They do have the money to pay it out of what they've collected. But again, there's a liability on the sheet. If we get this up to $5 or $6, then this is probably what you're going to see. But it's way too early to not know if we're really going to take off and run. And they only have till, what's the holdings on our weekly? Whoops, that's not what I want. I want the synthetic. 8.2. Yeah, so declaration is 8.6. So they're forced to roll. But now I have experience on what they'll do. They'll roll to a 35.50 or a 34. It all depends on where we are. They're going to give that $8, $9 cushion. So whatever they have to spend to get out of it, they're going to start writing their contracts into the new one. And we keep this cash flow going. But in that case, is when we don't go up, they're really paying you a little bit out of NAV, if you understand that. And I'm okay with it since I'm bullish on Bitcoin. If I was not bullish on Bitcoin, I wouldn't advise you buy this fund because if Bitcoin goes nowhere and goes down, and you're only buying it on the yield, then I think you're making a mistake. But if you're bullish on Bitcoin, knowing that it's going to go to 100 at some point or 125, then by all means, just even buy more. Since I own Coney, Misty, YBIT, and some Bitto, I don't just need to keep throwing more and more at it, right? I've got sufficient quantity. Okay, guys, that's what I got for you. Again, this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. For fun and entertainment, hope you are entertained. Okay, guys, bye. Have a great day ahead.